It's Dublin. Come eat and drink with me. Today I am in Santa Barbara, beautiful little quaint beach community on the coast of Southern California. Now a lot of you think of it as just a vacation destination, but what a lot of people may or may not know is they make pretty darn good wine there as well. You usually think of the surrounding areas like Santa Ynez, Los Olivos, stuff like that, amazing Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, GSMs, all sorts of great wines. But they also have a really cool area called the Funk Zone, right downtown here in Santa Barbara. And it's kind of curious, is it up to Dublin standards? What kind of wine do they have here? We're at Municipal Winemakers. They've been around since 2009. And I'm going to do a flight here, and our first one is this Riesling. So, interesting, I don't think I've had too many Rieslings in the Santa Barbara area. So let's see if they can, compare it to the Mosel or Rheingau, which, I'm not too sure if it will, but you never know. These California wines, the coastal, sometimes you get that influence to where you can get an okay Riesling. Definitely some tropical fruits right off the bat. A little bit of stone, actually, some minerality. Interesting. It's kind of like what I've experienced with a lot of different Rieslings that are coming from a really high pedigree, is that nose, you get those tropical fruits and a little bit of that minerality. But man, once you get into that palate, it's very Sauvignon Blanc-like. It has a kind of like that lemony, lemongrass type of thing. A little bit of passion fruit maybe. But overall, a little bit thin. Not a lot of viscosity that you're used to out of, the higher end Rieslings where they have a little bit of residual sugar. So, all right, interesting start. Let's see what else they got. Maybe some varietals that do better in this area. So let's check it out. All right, this one is their Pale Pink, which is a rosé of Grenache, which they do very well in the Santa Barbara area. When you go a little more inland, they have really great climate for GSMs. It's Grenache, the Syrah, the Mourvedre. This is exactly what you want to do in this area. So I would think that this is going to be a step up from the Riesling. Not a big nose, but that's okay. Not a lot of rosés have a really huge nose. It's not unpleasant though. Oh, it's kind of interesting. Very nice. You definitely get some of that nice Grenache flavors in there, which you can tell without, those extreme pressings. It's nice. It's like kind of like a soft, little bit of blueberry action going in there, with like a lot of like a little bit of like kind of like a grapefruit. It's really kind of pleasant, especially for like a nice warm summer day. Kind of dipping into this rosé on the coastal area, having a nice little salad. Yeah, I can definitely see this, doing well here. Not too bad. Not getting a whole lot else. The finish is definitely short, but it's rosé, so you're not looking for ultra complex. You're just looking for something that's refreshing, has a little bit of brightness to it, some good acidity, which this does have. Low tannin being a rosé. I'd say overall, it's not too shabby, pretty nice. A little bit of, provincial there. You know what else this has, this rosé? There's definitely like a little bit of a watermelon action going in it. Yeah, see the combination, a little of that grapefruit, a touch of blueberry, like a light pressed blueberry, and then like a really nice little kind of like watermelon finish. It's actually kind of pretty pleasant, very easy to drink. It doesn't feel like you're gonna get like a lot of heartburn or anything kind of like off-putting from this. So pretty good for, entry-level winery. So let's try the Sangiovese San Ynez Valley area. Interesting to get a Sangiovese out of California when you think of that as just an Italian varietal. As you know, the Sangiovese, Chianti, Brunello di Montalcino, it's a Sangiovese hybrid. Very big notes. Definitely some nice cherry notes coming through, which is typical of Sangiovese. A little bit of that rhubarb. A little bit of that chocolate and coffee. There's something definitely going on here. Kind of, definitely a powerful nose. Nothing too subtle there. Definitely youthful, not super tannic. I know a lot of Sangioveses, very high acid, very high tannins. This is neither of them. A lot of red fruits coming through. Ton of raspberry, ton of cherry. Not as much of that chocolate and that kind of powder cocoa that we were getting in the nose. Definitely fruit forward. You can tell it's warm climate and high sugar levels probably, and not a ton of acid. The lack of tannins is definitely not what you're used to with Sangiovese, so that's kind of taking me back a little bit.
So tell us what the name of it. Okay. Yeah. But it's right here. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit one-dimensional, not overly complex. I think our whites, we're definitely hitting a little bit better so far. And I can see with these reds that we're starting quality-wise to take a little bit of a step down. So let's see what else they got. There's also a Grenache and a Syrah that we're going to try. Here's our Grenache. Let's see what we have going on here. Definitely got some little bit darker berries, not as much red. Kind of like a black, like very currenty, kind of like some black fruits coming through, like a dark cherry. Kind of like a black cherry. Not a lot of earth. Maybe a little bit of oak. Definitely some sour cherry in that palate, no doubt. For Grenache, I'm usually used to a little more of that extraction and raisininess. This one's a little bit thinner than I'm used to for Grenache out of this area, especially if you move from here and into like Paso Robles. It's usually like really chewy, full-bodied Grenaches. This is kind of medium-bodied. There's a little bit of tannins, but overall, it's pretty thin and it's really kind of not slapping too hard. I would say this is very much a pass, and I'd say this is like kind of an entry-level like party wine at best. So we're definitely we're declining in quality pretty quickly right now. It's the funk zone, baby. You never know what you're gonna get. All right, the Syrah. Let's see if we can get a little more serious here. This is where you should be kind of flying all your stops. This is whole cluster. So they're putting everything in, all the grapes, all the stems, everything. The field mice, right, Miles, like everything. So let's see what happens here. A little bit of like nice cherry cola kind of coming through in the nose right away, which usually you think of like Russian River Pinot Noir. But hey, a nice little Syrah, some complexity, something interesting. Take it. Yeah, you get your typical black fruits and stuff, but again, it's not really like kind of hitting me real hard at this point. It's still like, these are still kind of softer notes than what I'm used to out of like these bigger type of reds. Yeah. I mean, I think overall, we're just kind of at a grocery store level entry-level type of wines here for people that are just getting into these kind of varietals. If you're looking for something serious, you're probably not going to find it here. And maybe they have some reserves or something like that you can, ask about. But overall, very thin. You can tell that there's probably not a ton of vineyard management going on here. They're not dropping fruit. We're not getting a lot of concentration, which usually with GSMs in this area, concentration is not a problem. So, but we'll take a look and see what their price points are on these wines. I would expect these are like 20 and less, I would hope. If it's more than like $25 a bottle, then the QPR on that is not so good. But still, it's fun, it's pleasant, and kind of when you go to the funk zone, you shouldn't be looking for super serious. You're just kind of looking to try some wines and have a little bit of fun. So let's check out one more and see if we can get something that's, hidden, batted a little bit better. Maybe we'll go into the minor leagues versus the little leagues. Fez Parker. Do we even dare? I think that might be a hard pass. Here we are at Pally Wines in the Funk Zone, and we're doing a full flight tasting of 5 different wines, starting from white down to heavier red. So we'll see if these guys are a little bit better than the last place we were at. Supposedly they are. Let's see. Our first one is the Pally Vineyard 2019 Chardonnay. I'll read off of Santa Rita Hills, so we actually have a smaller designated area, which is always a good sign. Aged in 50% neutral oak, 50% new French oak barrels for 14 months. Now, that costs some money, as we know, with French oak versus American. And they're doing some neutral, which means they want some of the fruit to speak as well. Very interesting. 165 cases made, so not too much. I'm definitely a little more optimistic here. And they have these cute little carafes, pouring glasses, so, for presentation wise. Nice, Pally. Good job, Pally. Decent color right away. Whew, yeah, lemon custard, some oak, toasted oak right off the bat. You can fit a little bit of malolactic going on here, so I'm thinking that there's some malolactic fermentation. Let's see for sure in the palate. Definitely some malolactic fermentation. Definitely smoothing out the edges there, covering up maybe a little bit of lack of vineyard preparation and tending to the vineyard. Not really getting a ton of extraction. But it's very soft. Nice little Chardonnay so far. Not a ton of complexity. Getting some of that oak. Definitely more than I would have expected. 50% neutral. Not Burgundian style at all. Very New World. And a lot of that malolactic. So a little bit of that kind of like creamy lemoniness coming through. Lemony snickety coming through there. I had higher hopes for it. They say they got 90 points, wine enthusiasts. I'd probably give it 89. Definitely drinkable. Something you can serve at, poolside party or whatnot. Casual lunch. It's not a bad wine. It's not terrible. It's not off-putting. It's just not overly complex and very interesting. But if you're chilling out in the funk zone, just enjoying a nice summer day, it's a perfectly fine wine. So our next wine is the PCH 100% Rosé Pinot Noir. I usually prefer Pinot Noir Rosés because it's a little less astringent, a lot softer, 0 tannins, and a little less acidity and a little less heartburn. Because rosés have a tendency to give me a little bit of heartburn. This is Santa Barbara County, so right away we know we're turning down the volume on quality because we're doing an entire county. It could be off of the PCH. They could be sourcing these off a vineyard off the PCH for all I know. Who knows? Aged in 100% neutral French oak barrels for 3 months, which is not unusual for rosés. Sometimes, usually it's just steel fermented, and that's it. And they pour it right into the bottle. So it's seen a little bit of oak. They're probably using anything left over from their actual Pinot from the year before. That would be my guess. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, not too bad. That nice, kind of like light salmon-y color. Definitely like kind of like some grapefruitiness with a nice light strawberry. Okay, we're back from the train. So I was saying some really light kind of strawberry flavors with like a little bit of that zest and grapefruit. Overall, it's not very flavorful. You can tell that they're sourcing these from just whatever Pinot Noir. To sum up the rosé, kind of a hard pass for me. I want at least a little bit of something going on, and this really adds almost nothing, just a touch of strawberry. That's kind of it. So, moving on, we're going to dump this guy. Moving on. Next up is their 100% Pinot Noir. Again, Santa Barbara County, so curb your enthusiasm. Aged in 100%, no, aged in 20% new and 80% neutral French oak for 10 months. Okay, that's a lot of neutral oak for Pinot. Interesting. A light ruby color. Definitely not your sea smoke extracted color. Yeah, it's just more of that light kind of strawberry, a little bit of raspberry Pinot. Kind of like a tart cherry coming through with some strawberry. Very neutral in oak. A little bit of maybe like rhubarb or something, which isn't always great. A little bit of tannin grip there, touch of acidity, but I mean it's like just you take a sip and it's gone. It's no finish. Not a lot of, there's zero complexity. You get basically 2 notes and you're out. So put this definitely in the grocery store aisle quality. So even for the funk zone, I would say that they're shooting kind of low with these last 2 wines. The Chardonnay definitely brought a touch more than what these guys are bringing so far. So let's see what their next Pinot can do. Maybe that's a little bit better. This one is Summit, and this is Santa Rita Hills, so thank goodness we're getting into an actual AVA. So we can do, if you're not familiar with Santa Rita Hills, if you don't see smoke, that is a famous Santa Rita Hills Pinot Noir. This one is also aged in 20% new, 80% neutral French. This one is 18 months though. It's going to have a touch more oak to it. Not a big nose so far. And not a whole lot coming through, just like basic Pinot Noir notes, like a little bit of cherry cola, but not a lot.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, happy to talk to you.
This has a touch more body to it. it's not so thin to where it's just like water viscosity. This actually kind of has the presence of some wine, which is nice, but still it's not overly complex. At least you're getting some raspberry on top of that cherry, which is nice. I'll take anything at this point. Just give me a little something. Now this one, at least, like, you could actually, maybe pair this with some salmon and you'd be okay. Have a okay meal, like a little lunch salmon on top of a salad or something like that. Compare this with this guy with that. Not too shabby. Certainly not a high-end wine. It is a Santa Rita Hills designate. It's not a single vineyard designate like Sea Smoke Salvine or a 10 or anything else that they might be making these days. This last one is this is a single vineyard designate Pinot Noir, Rancho La Vigna, a Santa Rita Hills as well. This is 50% neutral for 18 months. This supposedly got 93 points from wine enthusiasts, so let's see what 93 points tastes like. As you can tell right away in the color, you're definitely getting that darker, extracted, less opaque, a little more opaque density to this. So maybe we're, starting to thin out the vineyard a little bit and get some concentration here. Oh yeah, right away. I mean, world's different. It just jumped from the glass. Very nice. Definitely some nice blackberry, a little bit of vanilla. It's like a nutmeg. Kind of like a sweet, like strawberry. Kind of interesting. Not too bad. Some captivating notes. Now I'm starting to get a little feel of the funk zone here. If you can bring this kind of game more often, you can have some fun here. Yeah, definitely, like, the oak is definitely coming through. It is coming through as like a little bit of a spice. So it's not just that like heavy vanilla. Thank goodness for some of that neutral oak, because it probably would have been too much. So this is definitely starting to hit somewhere when we're getting into that. I can see that low 90 points. I don't know if I'd go to 93 personally, but definitely not a bad wine. This is something that you can pair a good meal with and actually enjoy yourself. Rancho La Vigna. Not too shabby. I would give this one, a solid 90, maybe 91 points. It was 2018, so, it's had a little bit of time to mellow out some of that oak and bring some of those tertiary notes, which I would say is some of that spice and some of that oak, as far as like that's lingering on the finish, along with that nice cherry, and you're getting some of that smashed, like kind of like blackberry, muddled blackberry. A little bit of blueberry, not too much really though, not like our Sonoma Coast that we love so much. But yeah, not too shabby. This is definitely like a wine that would bring me back to this establishment, Pally Wine Company, and see what else they have going on, because they do have other wines that you can try in different flights. So I'd be really interested to see what they can do with like their GSMs and go from there. So maybe we'll revisit them a little bit later. But not too bad. So this is definitely by far the best wine I've had in the funk zone so far. So I'm kind of getting the feel of this place. I'm pretty much getting it. It's just a great area for you to go out and just hang out with some friends, try some different wines, expose new people to wines. You don't want to overwhelm them at first. It kind of gets you comfortable with drinking different varietals and understanding, the Santa Barbara area. And then you start moving into stuff like this, and the more serious you get. So yeah, head on down to Santa Barbara and, get your funk on. Try out some wine. Live a little. Gosh darn it, you deserve it. a long day of tasting some not so great wine. It's time to reward myself with a little Rocky Oak sweet water here at the beach in Santa Barbara. Can't think of a better way to end the day. Cheers. Now that's how you make a Chardonnay.